Hey everybody out there, you're tuned in to 91.8 The Fan. You're in my corner, and I have a special guest in my corner who is about to unveil his identity to everybody. Would you like to say hello?
Hey, how's everyone doing today? This is Greg Abbey.
Now, I'm very happy to have you here on the station. A lot of people are very excited. Actually, quite a few people freaked out today, so you have quite the listenership raring and ready to go.
Well, that's good to hear. I always like to have the fan support for sure.
Now, I was kind of looking over your credits and trying to find as much as I could about you, and I saw that you did an extensive amount of commercial work, and I was sort of curious what came first in sort of acting. Was it voice work? Was it live action? Was it theater?
Well, I went to a conservatory at Rutgers University, and I studied acting there. Graduated, moved right into New York City, and I would say, I got a really good commercial agent right away, so that was a lot of the work I started doing. I definitely do theater, but predominantly these days I sort of make my living doing commercials and voiceovers and the cartoon work. I do a play occasionally, and occasionally I'll get a small part in a TV show. But initially when I got out of school, I was mostly doing commercials. The voiceover world is very, very small. And it takes a while. I mean, and that's aside from even the animation stuff, just voiceovers for like radio spots, TV spots. So I wasn't doing as much of that initially. It was mostly commercials and some theater.
Now, if you don't mind me saying, I actually have been hearing that in New York specifically, animation has kind of taken sort of a back burner there.
Yeah, there's literally nothing. I mean, 4Kids Entertainment is essentially the only game in town. There's another smaller company called Animation Collective that they do some stuff. I'm actually doing Speed Racer. I do a part on Speed Racer right now. But predominantly, I would say 90% of animation is done out in Los Angeles. There's some anime still here, but even most of that is done out in L.A., which I'm not sure why, although, the big networks, Nickelodeon, all those shows, Cartoon Network, all their stuff is out in Los Angeles.
And I'm sure that must be a little hard to deal with, but at the same time, you've been able to find 4Kids, and that must have been kind of interesting to find yourself in the world of voice acting, yeah?
Yeah, definitely. I would probably have more opportunity for that sort of work if I was in Los Angeles, but I've been in New York for a really long time. My kids have grown up here. I've lived here for almost 18 years, so I'm really comfortable here. Finding 4Kids, I just really lucked out. I had a very good friend of mine, one of my best friends from school, was directing anime in the city. And he had pulled me in on a couple projects, and then he just said one day, he was like, hey, listen, there's this company, 4Kids. They're auditioning for this show Yu-Gi-Oh!, which was the original show. And sort of that was how I initially got my foot in the door. That was 10 years ago. And then once I sort of got in at 4Kids, once you're sort of in, they sort of allow you to audition for all of their stuff. So, I've done a number of shows there. But yeah, I feel really lucky to have sort of slipped in because they're really the only game in town here in the city.
Now, were you aware of exactly what anime was, or was it sort of foreign to you?
Oh, it was totally foreign to me. I'm not like a comic book head, and I'm not a cartoon head, and my friend was directing some totally bizarre stuff. So, yeah, no, I didn't know anything of that world. But, I was just glad to have the work. I'm an actor, so I was like, yeah, sign me up. You're going to pay me for me to do voices. I'm there. So, I sort of developed an appreciation for it, but I haven't done that for a really long time. I mean, shortly after I started working at 4Kids, I've pretty much just done their stuff.
And now, when you realized you were dubbing over the footage, did you find that difficult at all, or were you able to jump right into that?
Oh, no, it's very weird skill, actually. Like, if you've never done it, I mean, part of the, one of the reasons I kept getting on some of the shows at 4Kids is, like, it's a unique skill you have to sort of develop because you're all by yourself. You got to really pick the line quickly off the page. So you got to sort of read the script, watch the screen, listen for the beats. You got to match flap. You got to know how to do it on the fly. It's a very odd thing, actually, to do. So no, I was not good at it at all when I started, but now I've been doing it for so long, I'm much better at it, much quicker. It's sort of secondhand at this point. And a lot of the directors I've worked with there for a really long time, so I have a shorthand with them. But definitely starting off, it's very strange to do. Because on top of all that, you want to try to act. You want to try to put something behind what you're doing. And then you have to worry about all this technical stuff on the side. And you're not – I never get the scripts beforehand. You're basically going in and sort of picking lines up, really getting a sense of it quickly and just going with it. It's really fast the way they operate there.
And now I'm kind of curious because a lot of the shows that you voiced in amassed sort of a cult popularity in the anime world. Have you ever been surprised at the fan reaction?
You know, I haven't done a ton of conventions. I went to one I work with some guys that go to a lot of them. I went to one a couple years ago. We did a Turtles, because I was on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so we did a Turtles panel. I mean, to be honest, it's all been awesome. I mean, the little interaction I have, I really find the fans just positive. They're really into it. It's great to have that support. I did, last summer I hosted the Yu-Gi-Oh! World Championships out in Long Beach, and I had a chance to do a couple of Q&As, and it was great. I actually wish I could do more of that stuff, because I find the fans, it's great. They're really into it. So it's always fun to sort of, hook up with those people a little bit.
It's sort of a shell shock, I would think, to go to a convention for the first time because so many people are dressed up in costume, and it's kind of like a big party or like Disneyland.
Yeah, it is definitely bizarre in a great way. I mean, it is a real niche of society. I mean, it's this sort of real specific subculture that is pretty cool. And I've said to my friends, I'm like, you got to come just check this out. I mean, this is very specific, but it's also it's very positive. Like, I always get a pretty good vibe from everyone. So the little interaction I have, like I said, I would like to go to more, but the little interaction I have has been pretty positive.
Now, I'm curious, do you have any that are coming up that you can share with anybody, or is that kind of not really a priority right now?
It's not that it's not a priority. I just don't have that stuff lined up, and I'm really busy in the city with work and my family, and so it's hard for me. Maybe 10 years ago when I was single, I would go to a convention in, Milwaukee for the weekend, but I can't do that sort of stuff. I'm hoping to go back out for the World Championships this year. My son loves to play Yu-Gi-Oh!, so we've been trying to go to the tournaments and stuff, and I'm working with Konami a little bit to set some of that stuff up, but I don't have anything lined up at the moment. So, but I mean, if someone called me and approached me with something, I would definitely consider it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I can definitely understand. You've got your personal life, and that can be hectic all on its own. Though that's kind of cute, though, that your children really enjoy what you're in.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, to be honest, they don't really. I have a 10, a 5, and 2-year-old. It's my 10-year-old who's really into the game, and he's in the cartoons, but it doesn't really have anything to do with me. It's not. I mean, I think he thinks it's cool, but at a certain point, it doesn't really matter to him. But he got into the card game aside from me. I mean, when he was really young, there were kids in our building that played that gave him the cards, and now he's really into the game. So we try to play as much as possible. There's a tournament. I try to take him. There's a local card store near the city we go to, and there's a tournament coming up in Charlotte we're going to fly down for because I have some family that lives down there. So, yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's great. It's great to be able to bring him to 4 kids. He's actually recorded a couple lines on a couple of the shows. We just went to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Movie premiere last week, and I was out of town, so we went on Saturday with a bunch of his friends. And, yeah, it's pretty cool to bring your 10-year-old, and he's into it, and his friends are into it. So it's pretty fun to be sitting in the theater with him and doing that. So it was really cool. We went on Saturday. It was a packed house here in the city, a very pro-Yu-Gi-Oh! Crowd, so it was exciting.
I just think that's absolutely adorable. Not only is it a passion for you, but your son also enjoys it, so it can be sort of a bonding experience. I wish my mom understood anime a little bit more. Now, I am kind of curious, though, is there any sort of portal on the internet where we can learn about any conventions you might be going to? Do you Twitter? Do you Facebook? Any of that?
I don't really. I have a Facebook page, and I've actually accepted some fan requests, but I try to keep that sort of personal. But what I'm really thinking of doing is, because of the movie, there's just been a lot more interest on the web and people sort of contacting me through Facebook, and I'm probably going to try to set up some sort of fan page just so I can put stuff there and keep, I'm into Facebook, but I don't want to, to me it's not about getting 2,000 friends. I sort of use it for, most of my friends I know personally, and so, but like I said, I've been getting requests for that. So I think I'm going to try to set something up on Facebook. I'm not interesting enough to follow on Twitter. I'm actually on Twitter, but it's just so I can follow. I love following the comedians. I follow a bunch of politicians, but yeah, I don't Twitter at this point. But I'm hoping in the next month or so, I'm going to try to set up some fan page. So, because you can tell that they're eager for the news too. And when I find out some stuff at 4Kids about the series or what's going on, or I just found out recently there's supposedly a new Yu-Gi-Oh in Japan that 4Kids might hopefully get a hold of and do. So yeah, I'm going to try to set something up so the people that are contacting me, I'll have a place for them to go and for me to comment on.
Well, we'll make sure to watch out for that, and as soon as you know anything, we'll let the fans know.
Okay.
And we're going to take a very short break here on 91.8 The Fan, but you don't want to go anywhere because we have our very special guest, and we have everything you want and nothing you don't, so keep it tuned.
Hi, I'm Masako X, proud member of the Team 4-Star Posse. When I'm not gallivanting around voicing naive Saiyans, perverted old men, and a bit of the odd vocal gender bending, I like to listen to 91.8 The Fan. They got everything I need to help me breeze through my editing with smiles and sunshine. I like to sing the odd karaoke, as well as review anime on my show Anifile, available at masakox.blip.tv, where I showcase the latest releases from Japan. Plus, if you ever wanted to get into voice acting, I also host the show Masterbox, where I aim to get you started in this fun online activity. So with that promotional canvassing out of the way, I return you to this stellar programming on 91.8 The Fan. Catch you later, and happy listening.
Hey everybody out there, you're tuned in to 91.8 The Fan. My special guest is still here, I hope, maybe.
Yes, he is here.
Yes, we didn't lose him through the wonderful, evil things of the internet. Technology, I love it. And now that I've said that, we're probably going to lose him.
Yeah, you've cursed us.
I try. No, wait. No, I don't try. Gosh, it's Monday.
Don't try.
It's Monday. You can tell that everything's hectic today. I'm kind of curious, and I'm sure the fans listening are curious as well. Do you have any projects that you're working on that you can talk about, or anything that the fans should look for?
Nothing too major. I mean, we're still doing Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, the series, and I think they always go back and forth about how many episodes are left. I feel like there's a good 40 or so. So I'm still doing that. Still going into 4Kids every week to record that. And then my own stuff, I'm just auditioning. I usually go out every day for voiceovers of commercials. I shot a new spot in February. I usually throw everything up on my website. So if people have insomnia or they're totally bored or they want to kill 10 minutes, they can go to my website because I post all my reels and spots up there. I'm constantly trying to work on my own stuff, writing and directing, shooting stuff. I've written 4 short films that I'm trying, like web shorts, that I'm actually in production on right now and hoping to shoot next month. So when I'm not auditioning, I'm just trying to create my own work. Because as an actor, you just want to spread it out because then you're always busy. So I'm always trying to do a little bit of everything, whether it's voiceovers, commercials, theater, and my own writing. So that's about it. That's what's coming up on the horizon for the moment.
Ooh, those web shorts will be interesting, especially for those tech-savvy kids out there.
Yeah.
And can you give us your homepage's URL so people can find it?
Yeah, it's just my name. It's GregoryAbbey.com. So yeah, if you have an interest, I got a bunch of stuff posted up there.
I was actually having a look at it earlier, and I thought one of the things that I thought was actually kind of neat was the Sushi Friends.
Oh yes, the Dear Sushi Friends, which is a mixed, amazing experience. I wrote that. I developed it with a friend of mine. Sushi Friends was a pitch we developed. It's a kids television show about a cartoon about pieces of sushi that fight crime, and we thought it was like the idea of the century. I actually recruited the top artist for Ninja Turtles, so he did all the character designs. We got an agent in L.A. We flew to L.A. We pitched it to about 6 to 8 different companies. No one bit, and then about a year later, a show called Sushi Pack came out.
Aww.
And so that's sort of, yes, I think it's still on, actually, but believe me, the day I found out about that, I was like, wait a minute, because it's essentially the same idea. But anyway, that's Sushi Pack. I just love the artwork. This guy, Adrian, did an amazing job, so I left it up on my website. If you go there, you can see his stuff. I still think it's a great idea. Maybe someday we'll, bring it back, try to resurrect it. But yeah, Sushi Friends was fun. It was fun to work on. I think it's a fantastic idea, so.
Well, if it does ever get on the air, and I hope it does, I gotta say one of my favorite characters looking over it was the Wing Commander, Kumquat.
Oh, yes. Yeah, it's funny because we initially had some human characters, and he was a human commander, but then at a certain point we were like, let's make the world all food. These guys are the sushi, everything else is food as well, so we went down that road too. I mean, we had a blast developing it, so it was really good. And it's that sort of stuff, like, as an actor you have a transient lifestyle, a lot of days you have free time, and I always like to have something creative I'm sort of working through, so we had a really good time developing that.
Well, I definitely think writing is a really nice skill to have, especially if you're in, the acting industry, just because you can sort of sometimes take the back seat. You don't have to be the face of something and do something a little bit different, but still understand what the actors are doing.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's also just an easy thing to do. You can sit down with your computer and, you don't need anything fancy. So it's that, and it's also just creating your own work, which I really just try to keep doing. I think it keeps you creatively alive, just to constantly be trying to work on stuff. So yeah, it's good. I try to do it as much as I can.
Well, it's good that you're not a slacker or procrastinator like a bunch of teenagers out there.
Oh, no, I'm a slacker procrastinator. I don't want to make it sound like I'm cracking it every day, but I definitely have it on the back burner. But no, believe me, I can be as lazy as the next person. But I try to mix it up.
Well, I definitely think if you're doing anything freelance, you have to kind of, hound yourself to do anything.
Absolutely. Definitely. Absolutely.
I kind of sort of have to do that with this, and I'm horrible some days. I'm like, I just want to play video games, and I don't do what I'm supposed to.
Yeah, some days are harder than others, you just got to keep sort of pushing, but I always find if I have a project, something you can sort of focus on, you'll get there. I do some days, and some days I don't, and that's it.
And now I'm kind of curious, is there anything out there you'd like to say to the listeners?
Oh, gosh, I guess just thanks for the support. Thanks for watching the shows. Keep watching the shows. It was cool to go to the movie, and it's just a positive vibe. It was great to be in the audience. The guys, the fans were really into it. It just was exciting. So, I mean, thank you. I would say to those people that came out and the people I've been hearing from on the internet, it's very cool, and I feel honored to sort of be a part of this thing that's going on down there. So, I guess that's it.
And now I'm kind of curious, since we're near the end of this interview, if you'd like to participate in a 91.8 The Fan tradition.
I have no idea what that is. I'm nervous, but I guess yes.
There is a little bit of pressure because we do it live on air, but we ask everyone if they'd be willing to do a radio bump for us.
A radio bump, yeah, sure. I'm sure I'll screw it up, but yes, go ahead.
We were wondering if you could say, my name is... say your name or your character's name. I do this. Say that you're a voice actor or an actor or whatever it is you want to put there. And you're tuned into 91.8 The Fan.
Okay, I'm sure I'm going to blow this. Okay, my name, I may get that part right. 98, what is it, 91.8 The Fan?
Yes, 91.8 The Fan.
Okay, let me try it. Do I get a couple tries?
Yes, you get as many tries as you want.
Okay. Hey, this is Greg Abbey. I'm the voice of Yusei Fudo on Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, and you're listening to 91.8 The Fan.
See, that was perfect. You didn't need a second take.
All right, good. Good. I breathed deeply. My son is laughing outside the door. Pipe down! This is a critic. What are you laughing at? That was awesome. I'm going to beat you when this interview's over.
91.8 The Fan, we approve child abuse. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Just kidding.
Just
Child
kidding.
services. Yeah, there's going to be like a knock on my door later. Yes, sir. We caught your interview. Can we speak to your son?
Oh.
He's laughing. Get away from the door. So there you go.
Thank you very much. We'll let you tend to your kids, and thank you so much for coming on today.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
And for everybody who maybe missed some of this interview, don't worry, it'll be up on the website within the next few days, so keep it tuned to 91.8 The Fan, everything you want and nothing you don't. Coming up next is TM Revolution with their song Heart of Sword.